in my new book, which is called Rising Powers, Shrinking Planet, The New Geopolitics of Energy. And I know your show is about money, and what's at stake here is tens of billions of dollars in the sale of natural gas from the Caspian Sea to Europe. That's what's ultimately at stake here. And right now, Europe gets a very large percentage of its natural gas from Russia through pipelines controlled by Gazprom, which is the state-controlled gas monopoly. And the EU has made a priority to develop alternative pipelines that bypass Russia to get natural gas from Turkmenistan, Kazakhstan, and Azerbaijan in the Caspian Sea. And they've developed a multi-billion-dollar project called Nabucco, after the opera by Verdi. There's a story behind that. But Nabucco is this big project that's a priority for the EU to diminish European dependence on Gazprom. And I believe that, which, if it succeeded, would undercut Russia's primary source of revenue, which is Gazprom's sale of gas to Europe. And again, we're talking about tens of billions of dollars. And I think that this war is primarily motivated by Russia's intention to send a signal to the EU that if you try to undercut our sales of gas from Gazprom, we will sabotage this Nabucco scheme and any other scheme to reduce reliance on Gazprom's gas sales to Europe. That's what the war is about. And the European press, if you read the European press, the Financial Times, the Economist, the European business press, that's how they interpret the war.
So, Michael, this is Jay. So what's the difference between what a true free market is and what the neocons are saying a free market is? It seems like this is a stacked free market when they want to open up the world, the new world order and the new economy, but their flip side of that is they enforce everything and push the markets with a military presence. So how is that a free market?
Oh my gosh, you're asking what sounds to me like a theocratic question. Free markets are what we demand other countries do to meet the needs of U.S. corporations, is the way I interpret it.
But not here at home.
Not here at home.
You know, it's I'm so happy you're on the show because what's primarily being reported in the press is, you know, all this is they're reviving the Cold War rhetoric that the free world needs to protect Georgia from the big bear, from Russia. But in truth. Excuse me, this is so monumentally irresponsible and almost Orwellian in its implication that Georgia is something of a democracy respectful of human rights and the rights of minority citizens in these two breakaway provinces. So, you know, the Bush administration is trying to frame this ideologically when it's really all about money. Is that correct?
Yes, it's all about money, and the ideological frame it's being put in is for domestic political consumption, and I think for the McCain campaign, you know, to help along the McCain campaign, but it has nothing to do with the reality on the ground. Before we let you go,
what advice, if you had an hour with our next president, what advice would you give him?
Well, I mean, you know, the two presidential candidates do grasp, or their advisors grasp, that America's Achilles heel, that our greatest strategic weakness is our dependence on imported energy, and they understand that thanks to the Bush administration, it has become more severe over the past 8 years, and it makes us prey to terrorists and rogue states and the like. The more we're dependent on Middle Eastern oil, the more we intrude into the cauldron of Middle Eastern politics and stir up opposition and hostility, and the more wars we face.
And we enter into a perpetual state of war.
Yeah, perpetual state of war. On top of that, this is the leading cause of, I believe, the leading cause of the decline of the American economy, because we are spending so much money to pay for this imported oil, and all of that money is falling into the hands of the sovereign wealth funds controlled by the oil countries.
And we spend so much money to keep a standing army in the far reaches of our empire.
Exactly. I calculate we spend something like $150 billion a year protecting foreign oil, exclusive of the war in Iraq and Afghanistan, which is also connected to this project. So we're bleeding the treasury dry, and we're contributing to the wealth of Abu Dhabi, and anybody who's seen pictures of these new oil kingdoms in the Persian Gulf, that's our money that's paying for these palaces and skyscrapers and luxury homes in the Middle East. We're losing that money. They're getting richer.
I like your indignation. That's our money. I want our listeners to hear that. It's our money. Professor Clare, expert on blooded for oil. It's our money. And that's our money.